So I recently had a discussion with one of my property manager clients. They were concerned about the potential of bed bugs coming into their properties. So we thought, what are the different ways we can go about speaking to our tenants about preventing the bed bug situation from entering all of the properties. So today I'm going to give you some tips and some information that I got from having the conversation with that specific property manager, and things that you can then share with your tenants and potentially your landlords to prevent the bed bugs from France coming over to the United Kingdom into your managed properties. Let's go. Okay, let's just say all of your tenants have been traveling abroad, they've been going here, there and everywhere. How do we prevent them from bringing their bed bugs from wherever they've traveled to back to your managed property? Now, one of the things I'm going to suggest is as soon as they get to the property, they take off their shoes at the front door. Number one, taking off their shoes at the front door, because bed bugs can travel on shoes, it can travel on clothing. Clearly, it depends if it's a single let, if it's a HMO. If it was a single let, I would say, it sounds terrible, but strip literally at the front door. Obviously, it depends if you're sharing with a lot of people or not. If it's a single let and, you know, the person can take off their clothes at the front door, ideally put the clothes in some sort of receptacle where they can then take them straight into the washing machine. If they're obviously sharing a property, then ideally take off the shoes and head straight to the bathroom. So that's number one, take off their shoes, take off their outside clothing if possible, and then head straight to the bathroom along with their suitcase. Ideally not dragging the suitcase along the floor, but going straight into the bathroom. When they get into the bathroom, they're to put their suitcase straight into the bath and then start to take all of their clothes out of the bath. The reason I say this is because if there is any bed bugs on their clothing, then the bed bugs, because of the color that they are, ideally the bath will be, you know, a white, or, you know, ideally not a brown color. It's 2023, people, but ideally any bugs that come out of the clothing will be very, very visible in their clothing that comes off onto the bath. So that's the first way of being able to check if they actually brought any bed bugs back home with them. But ideally take off all their clothes out of the suitcase and put it straight into the bath. If it's possible and this property has a garage or a porch area and it's a single let, then if they're not able to take it straight into the bath, they can just empty all their clothes right there in the garage or in the porch, so that then if there is any bed bugs, it doesn't make its way into the property. But if it's a HMO property, then as soon as they come in, they go straight into the bath and they empty all of their clothes there. Then the third thing I would suggest that the tenants then do is to take once they've taken out all their clothes, get the Hoover and ensure that they hoover up the suitcase. If it's a metal suitcase or a plastic suitcase, is fine, it's not a problem, but I would still hoover in the inside of the lining, any sort of crevice there is in the suitcase. And that also pertains to hand luggage, and that also pertains to handbags, purses, anything like that. Hoover it very, very thoroughly, in all the crevices, in all of the zips, absolutely everything. And then obviously if they're in the porch or in the garage, then hoover out the suitcase also when they're there, because then if it's outside the property, the bed bugs are less likely to come in. So hoover out all of the travel boxes and materials and suitcases that you came with. Make sure the tenants hoover all of that out. Then they're to dispose of the Hoover bag, so to make sure that they don't dispose of this Hoover bag inside the house. No, you take that Hoover bag outside, ideally put it in another bag and then put it in your outside bin, because bed bugs can live up to 4 to 6 months, and obviously they feed off of like little vampires. They feed off human blood, so look, once they start smelling blood, that's it, they're back out and they're ready to eat. So just make sure that we put that in a black bag and we put it in the outside bin. I appreciate this video isn't the nicest of topics to be discussing, especially it just makes me feel itchy and scratchy, so I apologize if it makes you feel the same. It's really awful. But if you are getting some really good hints and tips from today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you would like the video, give it a good awesome thumbs up. And if you have any ideas yourself of any ways to prevent bed bugs from coming into, you know, your rental properties, or if you've had bed bugs yourself within the properties that you've managed or in your own home, I'd appreciate it if you also left some comments in the description underneath this video, just so we can, you know, engage as a community. That would be really great. So now that the suitcase and all of the holdalls have been hoovered out, once all the clothes have been taken out, if the tenants, I should say, are not able to wash their clothes immediately, then they're to put all of them into a plastic bag so that they're all contained, they're all in one area. They either take them to the dry cleaners, depending upon their budget, take it to the dry cleaners, or even to the laundry and wash it at the extremely high temperatures, so long as the clothes don't shrink, but wash the clothes at extremely high temperatures, because the bed bugs will die under very high temperatures. I have read up, and some experts have said to put the clothes inside a tumble dryer, and then once you put them inside the tumble dryer, then the heat of the tumble dryer will kill the bed bugs. But I personally wouldn't do that, because even if you haven't worn all of your clothes, I'm thinking just wash absolutely everything. If it's an area like France or somewhere that this person has come from that you know, is likely to have had bed bugs there, I wouldn't put my potential clothes into a dryer. I'd basically make sure all my clothes are re-washed again, and I would suggest that be the same for all of your tenants also. If your tenants are obviously travelling back and forth around the UK public transport system, whether that be on trains, tubes or buses, Eurostar, tram, whatever the mode of transport, I would advise, if at all possible, to tell your tenants to not come home and sit on any fabric furniture. So for example, as soon as they come into their home, they're to take their shoes off at the door, because, you know, bed bugs can still get into the crevices of shoes and sandals and toes, and let me not get too much detail, but you know what I'm saying. Tell them to take their shoes off at the door so that they don't trod it through the potential carpet that's in their house. That's number one. And then do not sit on any furniture that potentially is a cloth material. So example, I know lots of people sometimes come home, they rush into their bedroom and they plonk themselves on their bed with all of their outside jacket on, clothes on. They've been, you know, sitting down on the tube, on the bus, everywhere. They then come home and plonk themselves on their bed or on their sofa, and they sprawl out before they then decide to take all their clothes off. No, 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 no. When you come home, or when your tenants come home, should I say, when you're advising them, take off their shoes at the door, take off their outside coat or jacket or trousers or whatever it is they're wearing, and change into their house clothes, and put those clothes, to be fair, either in the wash or just somewhere that will not contaminate the rest of the house. Because when it comes to, you know, the UK transport system is not exactly the cleanest anyway, but to then know that there's potential bed bugs that could be coming over from overseas to the United Kingdom, we need to make sure that we protect ourselves. If we just think of potential COVID times where we took so much precaution and so much care over our, you know, individual bodies, if we just think the same thing again, then hopefully we will not be spreading these bed bugs into our own homes and into our managed properties, because dealing with bed bugs, trying to get them out, is going to be so difficult, so very difficult. So also, to prepare yourself as a property manager, or even within, you know, the sales, in sales as well, I would definitely suggest that you stock up right now on pest control substances. So, you know, like the bombs, the bed bug bombs, the sprays, the brushes. Like, there's so many different products out there available right now that you can purchase, that you can keep stored up, so that when, I will say when, at some point we're going to get properties that are going to have bed bugs in them, that you're then ready and prepared. It's almost like COVID, when everybody was stocking up on toilet tissue. Why, the Lord himself only knows, but you just need to make sure that you stock up on all of these things, that when the time does come, you are ready and you can solve it before anybody else. If anything, you could charge high prices. Yay, income. But anyway, yes, so stock up and make sure that you're fully prepared. So I hope you've managed to get some tips from today's video. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. You do not have to turn on the notification bell because YouTube does a wonderful job of notifying you anyway. So I'd appreciate it if you stick around and watch some other videos, as I have so much more to share with you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.